Hey, welcome back to the Fun Astrology Podcast, Tuesday, July 9th. Thomas Miller back with you. Hey, I apologize for missing yesterday because yesterday was kind of a big day, but this is wild. So there's a little health issue that came up Sunday evening, and Sunday, Mercury went retrograde. And when this health issue surfaced, or was right in the middle of dealing with, Mercury crossed right through the house of health, which is number 6. So, let's talk about Mercury retrograde. Because this is not a minor deal. It's going to be something that, well, requires some attending to and some rest. And that's a great time to catch up on astrology videos that I have not watched lately that I need to catch up on. So we'll do some of that. But yeah, it's going to be about a week or so's worth of rest here. But I will be with you on these episodes, and we will get recorded up so that we are on time and not late. So I apologize for not being here yesterday on the first day of Mercury retrograde, but yeah, let's talk about that for just a second. And then there are so many other angles in the sky right now that just need to be attended to. So first of all, Mercury went retrograde in Leo on Sunday. Everybody gets all worked up about Mercury retrograde, and I think with good reason, because like I said, I mean, even coming in here to turn everything on to do this, normally everything is just working great, and there was some stuff with the microphone that wasn't right. So that's Mercury retrograde, just little irritants along the way, and especially related around things technological. The health thing, I don't know that you could just totally blame it on that, but it's ironic that it happened on the same time. Certainly fuzzy communication, and Mercury is sitting right on top of Mars, so you may really feel this, especially all things Mars related. So think of things around aggression, male energy, power. Those kinds of Mars characteristics could all be affected by this initial phase of the Mercury retrograde. It goes all the way through the rest of July. When is it over? End of July. Remember like last week, I said if I had a yacht? It's like, hey. So, yeah, we've got Venus in Cancer and Mercury coming back toward Venus in retrograde. It's like, oh. And then, if that wasn't enough, we've got a T-square that involves the Sun, Saturn, and the Moon. Oh, this is today. This will probably move off tomorrow. Let's see. Let me check here. Yep, quick look. Yes, this is just today, but totally hypered up energy around this whole transformation thing that we've been dealing with. So how many times have I said, I know this year, it's like it's almost a broken record, but that is totally the theme of this year. Get your journal. Use this energy today. Spend an extra 10 minutes with your journal today. Capture this T-square and work on some areas of your life that you know you could change. Here was one thing that I was kind of thinking about. And if you listen to our other podcast, Life After Life, that my partner Majana and I are doing, that one we talk about some things that take place after we transition out of this physical reality. And one of the things that I think happens is that we review our life. Now, I don't see it as judgment. I don't see it as an authority figure with a very, like with keys to the jail cell kind of thing, and punishment. I don't go there. But I do think that in great love with soul partners that we travel this world with, that we review what happened in our life. And this was kind of weird because as this Mercury was going retrograde, and as this T-square, this setup between Sun, Moon, and Saturn was establishing itself, I was literally getting the thought to do that kind of exercise. So think about your life. If you want to hear, how do you apply this? Think about your life from the perspective of the overview. So you are with benevolent, very amicable, very loving souls, because sometimes looking back at our life is hard, right? but you look back at seasons of your life, phases, and you think about these lessons along the lines of the astrological chart. So if you know how to read your chart, you know where a lot of those built-in lessons lie. How did you do with relationships? How did you do with money? How did you do with family? You know, these bigger areas that show up in different houses of the chart. And just to think back of those areas and those seasons of our life and think about how we did. And okay, if you blew it, dust that off your shoes and realize astrology, one of the beautiful things about astrology is it moves in opposites. So you can move that literally over to the opposite side of the chart. That's the whole concept behind the nodes, the north node, south node. You move from the south node toward the elements of the north node. So if you have a stack of energy in one area, or maybe you have an empty house in your chart in another area that you think, wow, I wish I had some energy around, pick a topic, money, second house, totally empty, like it is right now as I'm recording this. There is nothing in the second house. You think, oh gosh, I wish I had some planetary energy there to help me with money. Well, look across the chart to the 8th house. Today, right now, Neptune is sitting over in the 8th house. So Neptune is going to have a shadow over the money of somebody born right this minute. And they could work with that in a paradigm of how they are going to move towards some Neptunian spirituality around money. Or maybe their destiny will be to be super intuitive around money. But that's something they're going to have to grow into. See, it's not just there. You have to move into it. You have to. The way I look at it is you have to move the planets to the other side of the chart. That's where your growth is. See, where the planets show up in your chart, that's your imprint. But when you move them over to the other side of the chart, that's your growth. And that energy is just sitting right there calling you today. Now, because it is a T-square, and that means cranky energy, you could have some challenges come up around things that you should be doing, and maybe you're putting off or resisting. So watch resistance today, too, would be another big one on that T-square, and Mercury Retrograde. If you have a yacht, I'll see you mañana.